Bink.
Hey, bro, on the way back here, it just happened to me. I just go to this liquor store down the street.
Yeah.
That's my liquor store, you know? It's like I could walk there. It's 2 minutes away. And the same guy, it's like this old Arabic guy, doesn't speak very well English.
Yeah, at the cash register?
Yeah.
That guy loves upselling you on stuff. It's like, why don't you just get a fifth, too?
Yeah, 2 for 1, 2 for 1.
Yeah.
But I go in there, they have these big screens, like right in front of the cash register. And I've been going here for like 2 years. And I go, oh, some upgrades. Like, you guys got some TVs, you guys got some screens, you guys got new, like, whatever. And he goes, 6 years.
Like, it's been around the entire time.
They've been here 6 years.
Okay.
And I go, what? I've been coming here for
never
2 years
them.
and I never noticed them. How did I not notice them? He goes, 6 years. And look at that. And it's like a TV, like a nice TV. I go, 2 years? He goes, 6 years.
You're always there.
Oh, man. I'm just not
That's not what you're
observing,
focusing
bro.
on. You're at the liquor store.
I was just like,
I don't go to the liquor
man.
store to watch TV.
I felt like the biggest idiot of all time. I was just like, how did I not recognize this? This guy just thought I was the stupidest kid of all time. Buying
After he
Coors Light.
invested so much money into these plasma screen TVs, he's like, really? Nobody notices?
That's what I like about it. Yeah, well,
I've been playing The Office on these for 6 years straight. Nobody cares.
Has sports on another TV. And I was like, oh, I know you've had that
That's
one.
lit.
But the one he pointed at was like the CCTV of like all the cameras that they have. And I'm like, I bet you see some interesting stuff on there. He goes, not really.
Yeah.
I go, yeah, I do live in a safe place.
It's good for him to not see anything interesting on there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Interesting stuff at the liquor store typically, lends credence to it being bad.
I will say that's what you get when you're going to the liquor store at 11 a.m. That's what I love about this podcast. That's why I'm happy to be back, man. I'm happy 100%. To be back. 11 a.m. Saturday, getting the day going. There's no way better. I mean, it's going to come out at 9.
Yeah.
But for us, we're filming at 11, so...
100%. We're back. The road to Toledo. You guys might have forgot. We're still on the road to Toledo. 100 subs. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We're 36% of the way there. Getting kind of close to the halfway point. Me and Chris have been farming subs IRL, going up to people, which actually it's a good time to mention one of our new initiatives. If we see you guys at a bar, you show us proof that you're subscribed. 1 free beer, 1 use only, limit 1 per customer. We will buy you a beer.
We will.
Yep. So 100%.
Come find us, show us your sub, and you get a beer. It's got to be sub on YouTube, though. We do appreciate the follows on everything else.
Sure. Yeah. We're starting to film some new content. We just posted our first skit today. I think it's hilarious. You guys should just go check us out on every other platform. Got TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Obviously, it'll be on the YouTube Reels, but subscribe to that anyways. All the socials on the screen right now, though.
Facts. Thinking Beers, at Thinking Beers. Pretty much on everything. But, man, we've been away from each other. And it feels weird, but getting back, it was like we had this MSU bet for the new viewers. If MSU won, we were going to buy a camera.
R.I.P.
Yeah, that bet's over. The boys made it far, though. It was a good watch.
They tried.
It felt weird watching it away from you a little bit. But basically, we're just going to keep rolling it over. We're going to keep going until we get one.
Yeah.
We're not just going to
shoot you shot.
We're not going to bow out. Hey, MSU didn't make it. Oh, no. Lakers. Western Conference Finals. Plus... What was it, 195?
Plus 195. Just to make the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, they just got
to get there.
All we got to do is get there. We got LeBron. We got Luka. Bronny.
Austin Reeves. Rui Hachimura.
Yeah, we're...
Other people on there. There's
I like
people
it, too.
on that team.
And in that perfect place right now where, like, yeah, they won yesterday, but they haven't been winning that much. So, like, it's kind of like, oh, they're waiting to get hot to the right time.
We kind of...
That's what you want.
Yeah, bought in at the worst time, right when they went on a losing streak and looked horrible. It is what it is, though. I don't know. It seems like a year of destiny for the boys. Signed Luka. LeBron's only getting older.
Exactly.
Good vibes there. But we put $50 on it. We'll have enough money to buy a camera. So rolling it over. It's another difficult thing with the big bets because you got to get something at plus odds. We're not going to put like $200 each on something at like minus 200 just to try and buy a camera because if it hits, we'll be bankrupt.
Right.
But yeah, so if you want to ride at home, just like the state bet, hop on Lakers to make the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, man. And it was weird. Like you were watching the state games in Texas, and I was watching them here.
100%.
But it's been a while since we're coming back, so really, that's one of the things that's tough about this podcast is like I'm so used to just hanging out with Joe and every time just like spilling the beans, everything that happened to me over since the last weekend that I saw him, basically. But now I'm like, I gotta wait, I gotta save it for like a week for the podcast. But how's Texas, man? You've been to Texas quite a bit. How was it?
Last time I was talking about the Houston business trip. This time went down to the Dallas Fort Worth area. Went down there to see a little baby. But it was good, man. I mean, I guess I'll just kind of give you the full story. First day, I mean, I don't know. Whenever I'm traveling, I like to fly in late at night because I'm always tired after plane ride. So I like to go to bed when I first get down there. And I like
no
to fly
matter
in.
what time you get there.
No, that's what I'm saying. I like to fly in late, so it's already bedtime.
So it's just but you're gonna miss a day. If you go early, you get a full day.
Dude, that's what happened, and I hated it. So I like to fly in late,
Oh,
so I
you
can go to
went
bed,
early?
and I like to fly back early in the day, so then I can also sleep when I get back and have that recovery day before I have to go to work. But wasn't like that on this one. We flew in. Our flight took off at like 6 a.m., which means getting to DTW at like 4 a.m., which means waking up at 2 a.m.
Right.
So essentially, and obviously I didn't pack until the very last second. So
let me ask you this, though. This has come up recently for me. Now that I'm older, I get to the airport right before my flight. Like probably 30 to an hour before. When I was younger, I used to get there like 2 to 3 hours before.
That's how I operate.
That's crazy work.
I have to. I get super stressed out.
Work, bro.
Yeah. And it's so funny, too, because I'm waiting in the TSA line, getting in there. It's early as hell. And they were playing it where you could hear it on the line to get through TSA. And they go, is there John Smith or whatever, your flight to Miami takes off in 2 minutes. And if they're playing it out here and he's in this line, there's no way he's making it. You might as well just come over and say you're fucked. But yeah. So it was early. That was kind of like a dog, obviously. And
so you get there 2 hours early.
Yeah, you get there early. We're kind of chilling. I did my brackets because we were doing it right before March Madness started and all that.
Nice.
Seats were pretty good. I was like I was in the best seats you can have in the poor section. So like in front of me were the good seats.
Economy.
Yeah, but you know how they have that wall right in between them? So I was in those seats right in front of that wall. So like hella legroom. Stretch my legs.
Oh, handicap.
Yeah, but the tickets we got, it came with free drinks, dude. 2 free drinks. I've never heard of that before. So it's like 7 a.m. I did not.
Wait, your seats came with 2 free drinks on the plane?
What? For no reason. I don't know why.
Dude, someone definitely just told you that. That's not a real thing.
I didn't pay for them. But I got 2 free mimosas. It was kind of cool. Gave me a little champagne bottle, some mamone. But went kind of crazy. Got down, landed there. The first day wasn't anything too crazy. We went to one sports bar. We were in Arlington, which is kind of cool because we were right by where the Rangers play and AT&T Stadium, Cowboy Stadium.
Sweet.
So you can kind of see that. We went to a place with like massive screen. They were playing the game, so that was pretty cool. And then we just went to the Airbnb after that, kind of chilling first day.
What city was your Airbnb in?
Asla.
So where's that near?
Asley?
What's it near?
It's like right next to Fort Worth, but it's like straight farmland. It's so weird down there because the real estate, it would be insane. It's like 200 acres, like 3-story house, and it's $150,000. So Airbnb was totally up my alley.
It's Texas.
Sick ass place on like pretty good amount of land. Had like a little garage and stuff.
Yeah.
But the neighbors had horses, donkeys, goats, wild dogs, just a pack of wild dogs in their yard. So you just hear cows mooing, dogs going crazy at night.
Bro. I'd be a little scared,
Yeah. No,
were you terrified? Did you wake up with nightmares?
No, there was a fence. So
okay.
I wasn't too worried, but it was cool, right?
Fences.
No. What?
The wild dogs could hop.
You think
fences?
so? It was a pretty tall fence, maybe. I didn't interact with them, but dude, it was like a cow. It was like 20 feet from me. Yeah. Pretty cool.
What's Airbnb? That one? It's a cow farm.
Yeah, it's a cow farm. There's gonna be cows outside. But yeah, the Airbnb had a pool, pretty dope, and then they had a separate garage that had ping pong table, poker table, air hockey. What's that one with the little guys where you spin in there playing soccer?
Foosball.
Yeah. So they had all that shit in there. So we were spending a lot of time doing that. Little basketball hoop.
What would you say your record was over the weekend?
Not good.
Like winning or losing?
Not good. So actually, I guess I'll just get into it. So Thursday was kind of just chilling at the Airbnb.
Yeah.
Next day, Friday, we had a game day with a bunch of different events all over, and it was like everybody that was
March
there.
March Madness game day, right?
Yeah, but you partnered with every other person there at least once. So you played with everyone. You got points. If you won the event, you got 3 points. If you lost, you got 0.
What were the events?
It was like beer pong, musical flip cup,
that's awesome. That's a good time.
ping pong, just a bunch of different stuff like that.
Like a beer Olympics.
Yeah, essentially, but a little more tame. I came in last place or second to last place. It was just disgusting showing from your boy, but it was just one of those uncanny things where I somehow got paired up with the worst person at every event, and they were like, "I'm really relying on you on this one." I was like, "Dude, can somebody pick me up?"
I need your help myself.
Yeah. So that was pretty much the big thing that day. We did go to a restaurant. I found this very interesting. You
So
know,
you guys stayed in the Airbnb most of Saturday?
most of the first 3
Or
days.
was that-
So this is
okay.
Friday. First day, yeah.
I guess you're
Second
there
day.
for family reasons more than to like go out or like go do something.
We did eventually.
Yeah.
But so that Friday, we did go and get dinner. Place was
Okay.
dope. I've never heard of this, though. You know, places around here, you can go and drink, but they don't have food, so they allow you to bring your own food in.
Yeah, like the place that he like tells you to DoorDash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This place, reverse. You can go in there and eat, no booze. You can bring your own booze in. I was like, how is that allowed?
That's a Texas. That's
Yeah.
gotta be just like only
Yes.
allowed in Texas,
You have
which I love.
you have no way of like moderating this or knowing how many drinks people have
Right.
had and stuff. I saw this dude just walk in with a 12-pack.
Yeah.
Just probably gonna crush it.
People
having a
bringing
steak.
liquor or no
Yeah.
liquor.
I didn't. Not that I know.
That would be a crazy
It's like
move.
move, dude. Just bring the fifth. I mean, it's
Yeah.
anything goes, I guess.
That would be a crazy move to bring a fifth to that.
Yeah.
That what type of food was it? Barbecue.
I got this like almost like a jambalaya dish, kind of like pasta, shrimp, and
It was
sausage.
indoors.
What do you
I
mean?
don't know. I was picturing it outside. I feel like that law where you can bring booze is
Yeah.
only legal like outside.
Now it was indoors, and when I was walking to the bathroom, I did notice they had these stairs leading up to just one locked door, and there was a sign that said "Don't go up there." So I was very curious what was out there.
Yeah, it's like automatic. I'm going up there.
Texas
What's
Chainsaw
gonna be up
Massacre is
there?
going on up there. Something bad
Yeah.
news, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty cool. So the first 3 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, pretty much just chilling at the crib, having a
Right.
good time. I was averaging more than a case a day. It was one of those where it was pretty tame, but just drinking all day, just casual core, keeping the buzz going the entire day.
We're the only people that would say shit like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
True.
just about a case a day. Nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy.
Didn't get out of hand,
yeah,
but did have to purchase multiple cases while I was there.
yeah. One other thing I noticed, obviously, we're Coors guys on this podcast. First of all, everyone down there with their accent, they say Coors.
Coors.
Can I get a Coors?
Yeah,
But-
that's why they probably don't drink them as much.
Dude, the weirdest shit down there,
What do
though,
they drink a lot? Pacifico's like Tecate. I feel like they drink like
it's like
Mexican
North
beer.
Texas, so not really that much Texas
Okay.
beer. Some people, they had it, but it wasn't as prevalent as like
Right.
Houston. But one very weird thing I found, whenever we went out and I asked for a Coors, automatically they'd give me a Coors Banquet. You had to specify if you wanted a
Mhm.
light,
Mhm.
which up here, you say Coors, it's a light. You have to specify if you want a banquet.
Yeah,
Another weird thing.
yeah. It's because
Um,
they just drink heavier down there.
for sure.
I was thinking when I was at the liquor store though. Tell me your thoughts on this. What if we, at some point, drink a different beer on every podcast, and then we like at the end of the podcast rate that beer?
Yeah,
Because I bet it would stir up different types of conversations depending on what beer we're drinking.
you think so?
I think it could.
Maybe.
I think it could like just a slight change. Like if I'm
Yeah,
if we're drinking Coronas versus Coors,
you might get a little freaky.
yeah. exactly.
Yeah.
Like it might steer us a different way.
They
Like,
good.
I was seeing some interesting beers too, like some old beers.
Yeah,
It could also expand our horizon, and we can keep a list for the chat
Yeah.
to know like what beers we like the most. And like
Yeah.
obviously Coors
it's number
will
one.
be 9.9.
I'm very
and we'll be
narrow-minded.
searching for that 10.
So that's my one concern. I don't like any other thing than
Yeah,
the stuff that I have every single day.
Yeah, we could try that.
I'm rooted in my ways, but I'm down
And
to give
hey,
it a
like
go.
we don't have to do it every time, but like every once in a while, it might be good to mix it up a little to like try
Mm.
something new.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
But Sunday was the big day, so this
Okay.
is kind of like the meat of the story. We went to this place called the Stockyards. Have you ever heard of it?
Mm-mm.
Make a long story short, it looks like the
Cornhole type stuff.
Hmm?
Cornhole type stuff.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, so it's like the setting. It looks almost like the set of an old Western movie. Very interesting. Lots of shops lining the streets and stuff. And they do this thing called the cattle run, like once every 3 hours, every day. And so we're sitting there, dude. Crowds
What
forming.
is it? What is it?
This guy's on the mic leading up to it, and he's like, "Yo, what up? Cattle run's about to go down." And I did not expect this. He was like, "If you're from Texas, say hey." And everyone's like, "Woo." Some people did. He's like, "If you're from a different state, say hey." And he's like, "If you're from a different country, say hey." And he starts asking people where they're from. People are like Indonesia, Japan, all this shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, everyone's here to come see this. Pretty dope. But
Right.
so it starts. Cattle run takes place. Big ass. I don't know if they're bulls or cows. I guess technically, I don't know. But they had huge. They're like the Longhorns.
Yeah.
Where their horns are like massive, and then there's cowboys behind them on horses, like making sure they're going the right way and stuff. And they're just kind of like walking down the street. It's not really a run; it's more of a slope,
Okay.
you know,
You just watch them
canter.
walk.
Yeah, they just walk down the street.
Well, yeah, something I've always been trying to like. I've made a few contacts in Calgary, Canada, like you know, Canada,
yeah,
and they do something every year called the Calgary Stampede,
yeah,
and it's running with the bulls,
yeah.
like in Spain.
I wonder if
And
they're actually running.
they just it's gotten so big over there. Everyone tells me it's just a huge party now, but
Mhm.
even corporate America in Canada allows their employees to just have the day off.
The day off, national holiday.
Yeah, and it's crazy to just like go
That's how it
watch
should be.
running with the Bulls. That's so sick.
That would
So
be
I
cool.
do want to go that. We should do that
We should.
maybe when we get to 1,000. So
Great contact. If I just get speared through the chest with a bullhorn.
He said
like,
he
lift me in
was
the air.
the guy I was talking to was on one. It's like an alley with all these little alleyways or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was on one like alley, like waiting to run out there. And the guy right before him just got picked up, put against the wall, dead.
Damn.
Like crazy,
That would be incredibly
bro.
scarring.
Crazy.
But also probably make you cherish your life. Thank
Yeah.
God I'm not that guy. What a
So
bad
what?
way to
So
go.
what'd you do after the cattle walk?
So yeah, that was like after that, you know, kind of just walking around. It was like this weird shopping district where the equivalent would be Somerset Mall if it was all bougie cowboy brands, right? So like cowboy boots, like
Yeah.
mostly like button downs,
A lot of leather in
stuff
that.
like that.
A lot of leather in
Yeah.
the vicinity. Yeah.
I was desperately trying to spend money. I never really splurge or like treat
Yeah,
myself.
When in Rome, went
Dude.
on vacation.
I was
Yeah.
trying so hard. I didn't want to buy a cowboy hat or boots because I'd never rock them. So I was mostly
Right.
looking for a t-shirt. Every single store that we went into went straight from medium to double XL. Just no chance for
You
your
should
boy.
have ripped the doubles.
Dude, double XL, the sleeves go down like halfway past my forearms and
Yeah.
it's like going to my knees. It looks like I'm wearing my boyfriend's shirt. But so the one store we were in, I was kind of telling you about this, but I'm looking for shirts. I'm already pissed that I can't find something my size. And then this lady comes up to me and she was like, "Oh, I'm shopping for my son. Can you try this on?" I was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, "No, I'm just going to put it up to your shoulders." I was like, "Whatever." She puts it up. It's clearly too small. And she goes, "Oh, no, it won't fit." What the fuck, lady? Just calling me fat? Get the hell out of here. I was already upset that I can't fit in any of the shirts. So
What did you say? Anything to her? You're like, or you
No.
just look at her like,
I just
what?
gave her a look of disgust. Like, get out of here, bimbo. Yeah, but so more of the
Did you,
story
so
is
did you find shirts?
yeah, more of the story with the shopping experience. Had to kind of settle, and that day got this cool little hat, Cowboy
Oh.
Country Club. It's a pretty cool brand, I guess, pretty popular down there, but pretty dope hat. Then the next day, fast forward, and then I'll backtrack. But
CCC.
yeah, if you guys know what Buc-ee's is, very famous kind of.
Yeah, shout out Buc-ee's.
Yeah, very famous. It's like a gas station, like rest stop for truckers type deal, but the inside of it's the size of a Kroger's. But you go in there, there's a lot of different food options, and the merch section in there goes crazy, leading me to one of my largest cops of the trip. This shirt, Chris, you'll have to help. Let me know if it's in frame.
All right, get down a little. Put the
Down.
back up.
Back,
Flex that
arch
back,
in the
bro.
back.
Hit a flex.
Can you see?
Yep.
Yep,
Perfect.
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 This ain't my first crawfish boil. Big purchase.
It was your first crawfish boil.
It was. But so got this shirt, got another shirt. It said, "Good work ain't cheap, and cheap work ain't
Dude,
good."
it's a guy riding it like a rodeo, bro.
Yeah, like in like crawfish. Yeah, and then it said red, white, and blue collar. So that's kind of like the clothes I got. I guess
What size?
large.
Okay.
Need it.
That's good. Did it shrink at all when you washed
They
it?
bad, but
Damn.
it's really tight on my arms. But that's just a testament
Hey,
to
bro.
my grind.
Yeah,
At the
exactly.
gym this morning was just sweating out straight beer. I know
Hey,
the people on the
wow.
stair climber next to me were so mad. They're like, "Why does it smell like a fucking can return?"
Why does it smell like cinnamon flavor in beer? Like,
Yeah,
what is
yeah.
this?
But yeah, kind of like the only other memorable stuff that happened. I thought this was fucking hilarious. So one of the guys who were down there, Chance, he is from down there, funny ass accent, and we're waiting in line about to go to this restaurant. There was 9 of us, and the lady's like, "How many you guys got?" And he goes, 10. Everybody else is like, "Wait, we only have 9." He starts counting. He's like, 1, 2, 3, 4. And he points at this random guy next to us on his phone. He goes, 10. And everybody's like, "Who's that guy?" And then he looks at the guy and he goes, "Who the fuck are you?" Like he was mad that the guy was standing like
right after
pretending.
including him in
Yeah.
the group that like
Yeah.
he thought he was with. That's so funny.
Yeah,
What did the guy
We-
say? What the guy was just like, I'm not even with you.
he was
just
foreign. He hardly spoke English. He was like, apologies, left. We get in the place. This guy was a classic prankster. They had beef ribs, which normally ribs are pork, and I go, "What's the difference between pork ribs and beef ribs?" And he goes, "One's a cow and one's a pig." All right, buddy. All right, okay, gotcha. But yeah, rest of the day we ended up bar hopping. Went to a cool speakeasy called the Laundry List.
Oh.
Did I tell you about this?
No.
So you go in, looks like washing machines on the wall, fake.
You go through
Secret
the washing
door.
machine.
Secret door that's fake washing machines.
Do you have to crawl down?
No, it's a normal door.
Step, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you doing? But yeah, you go in there. It was cool. All the drink menu was called the Laundry List, and all the drinks were named after laundry shit. We went to another
What, like T-shirt?
Mine was called Mint Condition. It was like
Okay.
a mint julep, something like that.
Yeah.
You know, I forget the rest.
Okay.
Another bar we went to was funny because a lot of kids were there on spring break. We were just kind of chilling. It's this rooftop bar. Everybody's just raging fucking face. And we're just kind of standing there having a casual beer. But the cool part about this bar, we were on the third level of it. It had a swirly slide that took you from the third level down to the basement, to the bar in the basement.
You go down it?
Yeah, I did. It was so cool.
Were you scared?
No, it went very slow. Maybe because of my weight. I don't know. I was like,
You're like, I'll see you down there in 20 minutes.
you hear screeching down there, just ripping the skin off my back.
Yeah.
But I made my way. And then the last really cool thing we did, we went to this outdoor bar. It had turf all outside.
Yeah.
Massive screens playing March Madness. Really
Dope.
fucking cool.
Dope.
But that's the end of that day. Next day, last day, pretty much just us packing up. We're leaving, driving out. We end up going to this, we have Buc-ee's. Then we go to this restaurant that's not too far from the airport. And never had crawfish. I desperately wanted to try it. 2 pounds of crawfish inbound. They
All for you, or were you sharing?
I split it up. We shared it a little bit. I ate the brunt of it, but dropped it off. I was not picturing crawfish to look like this. I was picturing them looking like a shrimp, but they have
They're like little
faces and
lobsters.
eyes and stuff. And when it comes out, it just looks like, I don't know.
Mini lobster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks very, I don't know, it looks like it has a personality. I felt kind of bad because the way you eat crawfish, we watched some YouTube videos. I got really good at it. You basically like pincer both the torso, like the torso on the bottom part, you rip in half, suck out the bottom part, drink the brain juice. That's where the flavor comes from.
Yeah.
I got good at it.
But the meat is like in the tail body part. It's good.
Yeah,
it's
meat's
good.
in the tail.
You didn't have
Flavors
any seasonings though? You didn't?
Dude, yeah, dude. So they said, do you want the spicy or the normal? And I said, I know how you guys operate down here. I'm normally good with spice, but I just said normal. I was still dripping fucking sweat. Marissa had to ask for milk. And she came back. She was like, I had to ask the cook if it was okay to give you milk. Normally we reserve it for children, but you can have it. You're like, what the fuck you guys doing out here? So I'm filled to the brim with 2 pounds of crawfish. It's 9 million degrees outside. I'm dripping sweat profusely. We decided to go into this antique store. Worst place on this entire planet. It looked like a scene out of the show Hoarders. You know what I'm talking about? Just garbage.
That's how a lot of antique stores are.
Oh, dude, literally just fucking trash everywhere.
Gotta find diamonds in the rough there. That's tough.
Yeah. I walked in. It smelled gross. Wanted to throw up. Crawfish everywhere. Marissa's brother bought some fucking $3 sunglasses. Looked like they were worn by the general in the Civil War. But I was like, why would you buy this on the last day? We're about to leave too. So get out of there. Go. Go to the plane. Like I said, took off fucking late. Just shitty flight. So full of gross.
Yeah, you left the
sweaty.
same day you ate the crawfish.
Yeah.
That's
plane
terrible.
ride just with crawfish in my stomach. Not good.
Right. That's
Recipe for disaster.
aggressive, bro.
Ended up getting home pretty late, and then the rest was history. But pretty good trip.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad it was a wholesome, fun trip. You didn't cause no catastrophes.
Nope. I was a good boy.
That's all you can ask for.
Big redemption arc from the last episode.
Facts.
I was a very good boy.
Yeah, he was good boy.
Yeah.
I won't say I was a bad human being. I had a great time while you were gone. I did miss you a lot.
Miss you too.
Had a buddy, shout out Chase, celebrated
Dr. Hall.
19 years of friendship.
What?
And Chase and I celebrated 19 years of friendship when he came in town.
That's crazy.
We decided, which I do this a lot with a lot of my friends, we decided why not just say we met around this time of year.
Yeah.
And we might do that every time he comes back in town and every time I go there, because it kind of gives you a little something to talk about when you're like at the bar or something. You can be like, hey, me and my boy are celebrating 19 years of friendship today.
It's our 19-year anniversary.
Cool. Exactly. So we did that. He came in actually for a concert. Great concert.
It was
Levity. And then, actually the headliners were LS Dream and Closey.
Oh, first honk of the day, boys. You guys can't see it. We got a sign out, sign outside of Chris's place that says honk if you're subscribed.
Mm-hmm. Honk or play sirens if you're subscribed. So,
that's why you guys are going to hear a lot of honks.
There's literally like 100 people standing outside just watching this podcast from the window. But no, so Levity, it was good. It was a great concert because you would have loved it too. They mix in a lot of like music we know, music we listened to growing up, like old Chance the Rapper type stuff, and like with kind of like house music. So it was a really good concert. One of the funny one-liners that came from the concert, Chase goes, "Oh, I'll go get us some drinks." Like, and I was like, "Dude, I need some Red Bull. Like, maybe get us some vodka Red Bulls." He comes back, he goes, $65 for 2 vodka Red Bulls.
Are you kidding me?
Savon goes, that sounds like a steal.
Yeah, like they're stealing your money.
Oh man, that's tough. But
well, shout out Red Bull, sponsor of ours. Got to get their bag.
It's worth it. Yeah, it felt worth it in the moment too.
It wasn't.
But no, I mean, I wasn't drinking that much. It was more enjoy the vibes, live in the moment. We were basically 2 people back from front row too. It was a good time. Standing there, and it was at the Majestic Theater Masonic Temple.
Okay,
sorry, and packed, like almost sold out. And it was like looking back, like everybody's kind of behind you and everything. It was a great concert. It was a great show.
Whenever I go there, it kind of freaks me out. Have I ever told you about that with concert? I think we talked about it, but the hive mind, everybody's moving in the same way. Mm-hmm. It's weird. I'm sure it's like that EDM concert. Everyone's headbanging and stuff.
Yeah, but what I love about house music and EDM is that like I was third to front row, like 3 people back, and like I could have put my arms out and completely like turned around.
Oh, that's nice.
Like everybody just wants to be with their people, wants to be in their space and like celebrate or enjoy the concert, So,
or maybe people just weren't fucking with you.
Yeah, it just smelled really bad.
yeah.
But
protective bubble around Chris.
But yeah, we go to the concert. It was a good time, and then we like took those scooters that you can like put on your go on the app, the Lime app on your phone, and just like whip around. So we went on the scooters to the Coney Island, got Coney Island, Ubered out.
Classic.
That was Friday. Saturday, we were like talking like, yo, like let's get brunch. Like we weren't in too terrible a shape. We were pretty good human beings the day before. Mm-hmm. But we were like, yo, like that was the day where I kind of was like, yo, how long have we been friends for? And we realized 19 years. And we were like, we should have a day to celebrate. So we just like were tourists of Detroit on Saturday.
Yeah.
Got downtown, went to like a bar that's right next to Wayne State, and this guy was crazy bartender right away. But
how's that?
He was just the way his mannerisms were, and like he was like, "Oh, you're gonna want the Bloody Mary. You're gonna want the mimosa." Like,
what accent is that?
I have no idea, but he the way he was just very animated is probably a good word.
He's doing that shit. He's like rolling bottles off of his arm and catching them in the air.
Yeah,
doing the shaker up here.
11 a.m. You know, and so we start there. We get food, and then basically from there it was like walk back. We go to the DIA. We got coffees. Chase got like a latte with like a heart in it, and
it's kind of
yeah, it is. But it was great. I took a sip.
Going to an art exhibit and drinking a hard coffee. You took a sip of it too?
I did.
Super cute.
It was cute.
It's really cute.
And then kept going. Walked through the DIA for a little bit, like, experience art.
You see anything good?
Yeah, some great photos, some great I love the DIA. Like you kind of can go there. That's what I was telling him, is like you can go there probably once a week and you still feel like you got lost and didn't get to see everything. Like they do a great job at like making you feel like you get lost in there, and then you're like, did I go over there? Did I go over here? And you're like, I'm gonna have to come back and see if I got everything.
I would say art more like fart, right? Now, every time I go to an art exhibit, they get pissed at me. I can't see this shit, so I'm trying to tactilely feel it. I'm rubbing my hands on it, getting yelled at. You can't touch the oil paintings. You're going to ruin it. Fuck you. Trying to figure out what I'm looking at.
It was good art. It was good experience. It was a good time. But we just like bar hopped off after that, and I just started working downtown, so it was great for me to like a lot of these bars I've never been to before. So like I'm excited to take you down there sometime and like take our friends down there, because now I kind of know like, oh, we should go here, we shouldn't go here, we should go there. But I probably hit 8 or 9 bars throughout the day, and then we're at like one of the last bars, and we were supposed to go out in where like around where we live, and it was like a friend's birthday, and we're like, oh, we'll show face there later. We end up, it's like 11:30, and we are at this place called Easy Peasy downtown, and we run into like these two. It was a lesbian couple, and they were great. They were like the nicest people we met all day long. We met a lot of people too.
You said that like you weren't expecting lesbians to be great.
No, not at all, dude. It was just I didn't realize that it was a lesbian couple at first. I thought it was a dude. And
you didn't know?
Tatted face. Face was tatted up.
Obviously lesbian.
Neck, face tatted up.
For sure.
Beanie, Carhartt jacket, Carhartt hoodie. Like it was like
that's the most lesbian outfit I've ever heard in my life.
No, it was, but Tiffany was great. Tiffany was dope.
Nice.
And they're like, what are you guys getting into? And we ended up, ironically, getting into the same thing. Like we were planning on going to the same places. So we go to the Big Pink.
What are the odds?
Big Pink is like
you and Chase, after drinking that heart-shaped coffee, had the same prerogative as a couple lesbians. That tracks.
We go, 19 years, bro. 19 years of friendship. You know, it's a strong, strong bond. Not many people have that bond.
Y'all the type of guys to be like, no, we just got married for the tax benefits.
But we go to Big Pink, and it was like crazy, bro. Like everyone's twerking. They got a bunch of TVs that you can like record
You and
yourself
Chase included?
on. Maybe
You guys are dropping that shit?
I won't declassify that information. But no, we have a good time. It was a good night, and then we ended up like linking up for just an hour or so with our buddies, like showing face and then going home.
Yeah.
So fast forward, I went there. I love Big Pink though. Like I like the setup. It's like the DJ's in the middle and everyone's kind of around it.
Yeah.
They literally have like a smoking section outside too, which I think is pretty unique.
Tight.
And
Super tight.
it's a cool place. I like it. And it's crazy too. The outside, it is in like not the safest area, but just a huge dirt field. And they just tweeted or like posted on Instagram that you're now allowed to park in that field. You were never allowed to first. So it's just like cars are like jamming each other in, and like it's crazy to kind of go through. So go to Big Pink. Fast forward, my buddy texted me the next week. He's like, I'm going to Big Pink tonight. I have a way different experience. I had a great time. It was like a mix of hip hop, house music, kind of like the concert, but not as intense. Ran into some people I know. Had a good time at Big Pink. But that next weekend, I woke up the Saturday. We went out on a Friday. It was my buddy from my old job, and we go out. Shout out,
subscribe.
Shout out him. Yeah, he subbed. His cousin subbed. I love his cousin too. I've gone on a couple times with him.
Which just a testament to how hard I'd be hawking the numbers. As soon as this guy subbed, I looked at that shit. I texted Chris. I was like, "We got a new subscriber." He sent me a picture of his boy. He's like, "It's him." I'm checking these numbers like a hawk.
Yeah. Which reminder: if you sub, you will get free beer from us. 1 beer. Maximum 1 use, but sub. 1
use per account, though.
Yeah.
Make as many YouTubes as you can. Create fake emails. Create new accounts.
Exactly. So, anyways, I have a dentist appointment the next morning.
What time is that?
Next weekend.
Was that at 2:30?
11 a.m.
Not at 2:30?
That's the best time to go to the dentist.
Tooth.
You know that, chat? What's the best time to go to the dentist?
I'm thinking it's tooth hurdy.
Tooth hurdy.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Tooth hurdy.
Nice.
Because I use that all the time. It's my favorite.
It's all good.
So 11 a.m. dentist appointment after Big Pink. I'm in rough shape. I'm not doing so hot. I go to the dentist appointment, and I, to be honest, canceled my last one. And it's not even an appointment; it's a cleaning. Like you get these all the time. And I normally don't miss them, but I was starting a new job. I couldn't take off work, and my dentist is on the opposite way of my job. So it was
your dentist doesn't do after hours or Saturdays.
Well, they do, but I kept like putting it off. So I put it off for like 6 months. I finally go. And it was kind of no big deal. You know what I mean? It was like, they kept saying no big deal, no big deal. I actually called one time and they were like, we can't even put you into a calendar. And I was like, can you just put me in and then I'll try and, because they send these texts and it's like, reply right now if you want to have an appointment tomorrow. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. So I was so I like waited. They sent one for Saturday, so I was like, all right, I'll do it. I don't have anything going on, whatever. I go, I'm so hungover and I was in rough shape. I didn't eat or anything. I think I forgot to brush my teeth.
Oh, dude.
I woke up like 20 minutes before the appointment. I was like,
Jesus.
I gotta go. I did. I think I did, but
that poor hygienist.
Can't confirm. So I get there. And they're like, oh, it's time for your x-rays. It's time to do x-rays. You ever get them, Johns?
What is that accent?
They put...
what people are you talking to?
That's what my dentist sounds like. It's a dentist accent.
Yeah.
But they put the x-ray, and this is what I have a qualm about, bro, is how are we in 2025 and we can literally like AI, all this shit, everything's so advanced. But when I go to the dentist and they have to x-ray my teeth, I have to put these fucking... fat plastic fucking L-shaped objects in my mouth
of a fucking tricycle that they're shoving in your mouth.
Yeah, and then they go bite down, and it's like in my throat, and I'm like,
you're bleeding out of both crevices.
I should mention too, I was getting over like being congested. Like I wasn't really sick. I was just like I had a stuffy nose, I had a cough, and like I couldn't breathe out of my nose though. So I'm like doing it. I literally every single one. And she's like, all right. And then she's like, as soon as like you hear it go off, you can like let go of like your clenching jaw or whatever. And I'm like doing it, and I would do it, and then I would let go, and I'd be like, and she was like, are you okay? Is this hurting you? Are you okay? And I was like, Yes, I'm fine.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Just like grabbing your hair.
I was like, I just can't breathe. I'm sorry. But that was pretty rough. That was really the only bad part. Everything else wasn't that bad.
Oh my god!
But
kudos to you for not just spray vomiting cords all over this lady's face.
yeah, I know it was rough.
It's the worst.
But I do this thing at the dentist now, and I kind of like getting a new hygienist. You know, like the person that does most of the work, and then the dentist goes, yeah, looks okay," and then walks out.
Yeah,
but
it's like the main guy.
Yeah.
He just grabs your tongue. He's like pulls it to both sides. He's like, "Yeah, tongue's looking pretty dope. You're good, brother."
Mm-hmm.
Why are you getting
like,
paid so much money? Just looking at that.
Exactly. But the hygienist is the one that's always like, "Have you been flossing? Have you been doing this?"
I always lie for no reason.
So you normally are like, "Yeah,
I floss every day."
And then
I
what do they
brush my
say?
teeth 3 times a day.
What do they say?
Like perfect. I've actually never had a cavity. For some reason, I have like naturally good teeth, so they just trust me.
Never had braces. Do you have
Even
braces?
though I know, because I did. I had the full gambit. I had the expander, braces, retainer.
Yeah, but you're gonna say when they do it, it bleeds a shitload.
I can barely fit it in between my teeth.
So that's what I was gonna say.
You floss every day?
So that's it's like getting stuck. They're doing the same one like 5 times.
Really physically struggling to get it out from my teeth. Like, no, this never happens when I do it.
Exactly. Well, normally when I was saying that, my dentist would be like, "Oh, I can tell you don't. Like, make sure you're flossing." Yeah. So when I started going, I did it for the first time. My previous dentist, and I did it again this time. A different hygienist both times. But I tell them, no, I haven't been flossing at all. Meanwhile, I floss twice a day.
You do?
Yeah, I floss twice a day. It's like almost like fun for me.
Okay.
It's like satisfying and fun. And I realized like when you floss a lot, like there's so much shit in there. Like it's like bad. It's like it actually makes me like want to floss more.
Yeah.
So I floss twice a day, which is like more than the average human. And I originally started doing that because I was like, how funny would it be if I floss twice a day and then I go to the dentist and they're like, "Have you been flossing?" And I go, "No, I really I should be better." So that's what I do now. I go every time. I'm like, "No, really, I should be better." And then I see if they go, "Oh, really? It looks like you've been doing good. Like it looks like whatever."
Oh,
and
well, thank you.
The first time they said that, this time she was just like, she's like, "Oh, okay, like you should floss a little bit more, like whatever."
Yeah.
But when she was doing it, she was like, both times they're like, it does look like you floss a lot. Like I can tell, like it's
weird. Never touched floss in my life. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's kind of a fun bit, and it's only for the best. It's only for your benefit, you know.
Let me ask you this: I just recently had this happen. Maybe just my last dentist appointment. Did they use the water pick instead of the metal one?
No.
Dude, so my dentist has this new
water
thing.
Well, the
water is just to clear out your mouth, but now they have this new thing. Instead of using the metal pick, it's like a very high pressure focused water blast that they use to clean your teeth instead of the metal pick.
Really?
I don't like it. It doesn't feel like it's doing anything for me.
Yeah, I bet.
I don't know. I kind of like the sensation of pain at the dentist. You got some.
You like the sensation of pain?
I don't know how to describe it, but you have just some like 50-year-old lady that's very discouraged, probably hates her family. She's like, "Why did I go into this fucking industry? I hate every person that comes through here." She takes that metal hook, just latches into my gums, like almost like an ice climber, with their picks, and just yanks down as hard as possible to completely eviscerate my gums.
Yeah, it hurts sometimes.
It's just feeling something.
And you got the
it's
blood.
nice to feel something sometimes.
Yeah, it keeps you alive.
Yeah.
Keeps you moving.
It's like that Kanye song. I put my hand on the stove just to see if I still bleed.
Did you know, I just saw this Kanye song where he's like, "And I wonder if you know."
Yeah.
Did you know that like the song that he sampled for that, but right before he says that in the song, the guy's going, "This is my song and you can't take my song," and like whatever. And so like I thought it was crazy because Kanye is the type of guy to like hear somebody be like, "You can't take my song, this is my song," and then he has a beautiful vocal and he just steals it and puts it in his song, and Kanye gets way more famous.
Well, that's exactly the story. You know his song Poopity Scoop?
Yeah.
The whole deal with that, the beat, he was supposed to give that beat to Drake. And Drake was almost done with the song he was going to release. And then Kanye just said, "Fuck you." And he dropped a Poopity Scoop song.
Yeah.
What a douche. This is an anti-Kanye podcast. Unless he
drops a banger. He's about to drop an album.
If he drops a good album, I will forgive him.
I think his album he's about to drop is called World War III.
Oh,
which is
God.
Crazy. Yeah. It's going to be absurd.
Yikes.
But anyways, so I leave the dentist. I have to go grocery shopping. Normal day, like I'm a little hungover, but I'm feeling good.
You go grocery shopping somehow more than there are days in the week.
Me?
Yeah.
I do grocery shop a lot, but it's
You
right next to
grocery
my
shop
gym.
like twice a day.
It's right next to my gym, so like I'll just go after the gym a lot. But today I was like, I'm not going to the gym, but I still need food, so I'm gonna grocery shop. So I get there, I grocery shop. I get back to my car. I put all the groceries in my car. I roll down the windows. It was a beautiful day, and I hear a loud ass car coming in. But it wasn't the car was being loud. It was their music they were playing. Couldn't tell. It just sounded like some like OG like dad rap type stuff.
Dad rap?
Or dad rock, like that playlist on Spotify.
Yeah.
So they're ripping that and they're flying in like full blast. Their car's like shaking. And so it was almost shaking my car. And I'm like, what is going on? I like just had like turned my car on and started backing out. It was an old truck, like huge truck where like it's got the cap on the back.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
I like that.
Yeah, it was just older. And the dude's flying in. There's 2 stop signs in front of the grocery store. Flies past the first one, hits the lady. Not her. He hits the lady that's pushing all the shopping carts in a big like tandem. Hits the shopping carts. All the shopping carts spill over.
Oh, what a dude.
And then he gets out and he's like, "How are you walking in front of blah 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 blah?"
You can't.
I just drove away.
That guy should get the death sentence.
I was telling you, which I'll get into in just a second. You're like, I start going on a date. I'm talking to somebody. I'll give you guys an update. It's going well, but I was telling her about this. I was like, this is crazy that this happened to me. And she was like, you didn't help. And I was like, that is kind of, I probably should have.
I wouldn't have.
But I was like, I was kind of scared.
They get paid for that.
I was kind of scared of the truck driver. I was like, I don't want to like,
this guy sounds like a horrible
He got
person.
out and he was yelling at it's just a grocery store employee, dude.
Dude, and not even to be that guy, but most
Probably
people that are collecting the carts are either, very young or they're, autistic probably.
Right. So that happened
that's so
to me, but
shitty.
man,
are you going in the date update?
Yeah.
All right. It's cool.
Yeah.
Right,
You're good, bro.
I'll be right back.
I'll update chat here. A solo date update. I kind of do want to talk to Joe about something, but no, I mean, I want to keep you guys in the loop. I want you guys to know what's going on with my life, and I want you guys to be filled in when I do go on dates in like somebody new. So went on a date. It was right after that concert week or whatever. It was like on a Tuesday. It was a weekday, which I do enjoy that because it's kind of just simple, dinner, go to have a standard day, maybe some drinks. So we went to like 3 bars and it was a great time. I really like her. She's a great human being, great person, and makes me want to be a better person as well. But what I will say is, and what I want to get into a little bit with Joe, is after the first date, we did go, or I said, like, I want to make dinner for you. You should come to my place. I'll make dinner. So then it gets agreed upon, and I'm sitting there the whole time like, what do I make for dinner? Like, what am I going to – I could cook a great steak, but that's pretty aggressive to make a steak for somebody. Like, I don't know if they like steak the same way I do. I could eat steak every day.
Not many days like steak.
Right. So it's sort of one of those things where I was sitting there like, what do I make? And I was contemplating it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up going with chicken cutlets, Alfredo, bread, and that was it. But the bread I got, Joe
so
hates
white sauce Alfredo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Joe hates olives. I love olives, and I knew the girl I was talking to liked olives because I had sent her a picture of this bread I got. Kalamata olive sourdough loaf.
Hell no.
It was phenomenal. I still buy it. I make all my sandwiches on it now. But great bread. So it was like good bread, pasta, chicken cutlets.
I think that's it. Were the chicken cutlets sliced and diced, or were they just as is?
I bought thin sliced chicken breast and then I cut it up into 3 pieces each. So
was that incorporated into the pasta, or was that a separate?
She incorporated hers. I eat it. I like mine separate.
Interesting.
So,
okay.
That was just how we did it. But had some leftovers for work the next day. It was a good choice.
Perfect.
But I'm curious, could I have done better? Is there something else you think I should have made?
I think that's very safe.
I think I could have went with. I was debating this. I make a mean Brussels sprout, like great Brussels sprouts.
Okay.
I made it actually. It's the first dish I ever made for like a Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah,
I
remember that.
I surprised my family with Brussels sprouts, and it was Brussels sprouts with bacon inside, like not inside, but bacon mixed in and everything. And it was like with like a hot honey and maple bacon glaze. It was so good.
That does
so I put like a real good maple syrup in it. I put a little bit of hot honey in it, and then have like the bacon I had just cooked, and I cooked it in the bacon grease too. It was very good. It was very good.
No, I think that's a perfectly fine choice. I can't imagine how much better you could do.
Well, so that's what I was worried about, bro. Is if I made the Brussels sprouts, that's like my maximum.
You have nowhere to go but down from there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, that was kind of what I'm contemplating. But at the end of the day, I think it turned out great. I think it was good, and we got another dinner tonight, Italian downtown again, and I'm excited for it. I think it'll be a good time.
Nice. So you're probably gonna get the same thing you already ate. Chicken and pasta?
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
I do love some chicken parm.
No, I commend you for that, bro. I've never even tried. I mean, I'm not good at cooking. I have no idea how to cook. My one meal that I will make for me and the missus is actually something of my own design. It's essentially where you get the mac and cheese that has, the actual cheese packet. It's not the powder. It's got like the liquid cheese.
Velveeta.
Yeah. Yep, you get that. And then some chicken nuggets from the store, but like the little ball ones like that. You essentially make those in the air fryer. You make the mac and cheese on the stove. You incorporate the chicken nuggets into the mac and cheese. You throw some onion powder and shit on there.
Yep,
That's what I know how to make.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I thought you were
what
about to
else
say your OG. What was it, like a ramen burrito?
Yeah,
Dude,
when Marissa was out of town, I went to town on those, bro. I literally told her, she's like, "What do you want to eat?"
Chat. What? Yeah. Tell chat what you make for ramen burrito.
It was something I figured out in college. It's the perfect drunk snack. But you get the Mirachin, I believe the brand is. You get their ramen noodle, the larger pack, right? It has some more noodles. It comes with the little packet full of dried peas, carrots, things of that nature, and then
in the styrofoam, right?
No, it's going to be in a plastic container. The styrofoam ones you can do. That's just not my go-to because it's less of a serving size.
Okay.
Right? But this bigger one, it's got the vegetables. You throw that in there beforehand, put the water in, microwave it. You put the flavor packet in after. And then what you're going to want to do, let it marinate. You cover it back up. Really let the noodles soak in the flavor, because what you're going to do shortly after that is pour out all of the water. We don't need that water because we're not eating it out of the plastic. What you're going to want to do is, after emptying the water, you incorporate that into a tortilla shell, put the noodles right into there, double carbs, pour sriracha all over it, wrap it up like a burrito, eat that. Chef's kiss. It's the best meal I've ever had.
You can add a lot to it if you wanted to.
Don't need to. It's already perfect.
Like, I bet if you had B-Dubs wings in the fridge, you could throw that in there. I bet
that's a good call. That is a good call.
But no, I was just thinking about college, and you could steal so many of Pat's B-Dubs wings if you wanted to. Remember his family wouldn't trust him with money, so they just give him B-Dubs
gift cards.
Yo, shout out Pat Hive. Like, that dude wasn't trusted with money in college.
Yeah, and for good reason.
Very
questionable decisions that guy makes.
Yeah, way worse decisions than we would ever make.
Like that time, I think he bought a human-sized replica of Megatron from Transformers. And it, obviously not his truck form. It was in his standing form with his battle sword out. I believe he still has that in his bedroom. Very just weird, because it costs $30,000.
Yeah, it's crazy. Who would ever purchase?
I don't know. Very bizarre choice.
Yeah, especially when you're, I don't know. That's
neither here nor there. But
right, exactly. So that gets us first segment of the podcast. A classic repeat
probably
segment.
Guess what it is?
Digesting Cora.
Yep.
We're excited about these two today.
My favorite question we've ever had.
Absolutely let them rip. But the first question of Digesting Cora for today is, if you are standing in America and you shoot someone in Canada, where do you go to jail? Then this could apply to any country that's bordering another country. But
the thought just popped in my head. What a dicey time to bring this up with all the tariffs and conflict. I guess Canada hates us. We're obviously not thinking about Canada at all, though.
Well, it's something that should be brought up before anything happens.
I was just watching this Tosh bit from his stand-up. Tosh.0. Yeah, he does.
He's still doing stand-up?
Yeah, I guess so. I saw this clip on Instagram, and he was like, Canada has the best fence in the entire world. Imagine a country starts talking shit and you just have America guarding you.
Right.
That's why they're all liberal. Well, I don't know, whatever. I don't want to steal his bet. It was funnier when he said it.
Yeah.
But this is my favorite question we've probably ever had because of the concept. It's just such a funny fucking thing because, I mean, build the wall only applies to the South. So, wait, actually, I think they might have been, they were trying on the Canadian border because of apparently fentanyl, whatever it might be.
Well,
but
I don't think they got a whole ass tunnel coming over here.
I'm just picturing, though, how do you know where the line is? But it's just such a funny concept.
Right.
You'd be like, that guy's 30 yards away and the line's perfectly dividing it.
Well, then, I picture, if there was a line, The best way to think about this question, is like a football field.
Yeah.
And past the 50-yard line is Canada. On one side, on the home side is America. On the away side is Canada.
Yeah.
And at the 50-yard line is the border. And then
at the Mexico border it says USA like an end zone. At the Canada one it says Canada.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And when it happens, you're literally standing on one side. I would picture if I did this crime, I would do it standing in America, shooting, the other side. And then I would run across right after. Because it would be like, don't you picture, like, if that happened and you stood still, the cops would come up from the both sides, but one would be trying to catch you and one would be more concerned about the victim.
Yeah, it could be.
And you could just run. You would almost do
That's
it.
An interesting point.
I think you would do it.
They probably have different
You
motivations.
would want to do it standing in America, and then you would just run into Canada.
Well, it's also funny.
You would just fly in there.
It's also funny because the Canadian police don't have guns.
Mm-hmm.
They just ride on horses and have swords or whatever the fuck. That'd be funny. The Canadian guy's dead. The mountaineers pull up on their horses. They pull out their swords. You have the U.S. cops behind you. You guys all pull out your guns. Let's fuck them up, boys.
you're like
the tariffs were just the start.
Teaming up with
the cops are on your side. It's just like a mini war,
right?
But no, when it really comes down to it, though, I feel like the country where the person died is going to charge you. Makes more sense.
But you committed the crime in. It's almost like if I commit a crime in this city and then I move to another city, this city's going to charge me with the crime. So I think wherever you commit the crime is what charges you. So I think America would have to charge you, and it'd be like, oh, let's retrieve our citizen. But also,
it depends on where it is, bro. Because like if it's the Canada border somewhere, I don't know, maybe like the New York border, like because they don't fuck with guns, they'd probably be prosecuting you pretty heavy. But if you're in Montana on that border, Montana's probably like, yeah, good shit.
Yeah,
they probably wouldn't come after you.
I don't know though, because I do agree with that a bit. Man, I don't. It's a very interesting situation. I think wherever you shoot the gun at is where that place would be like responsible for charging you with a crime.
Well, I mean,
because like the laws, and if you were to do it standing in Canada, would be worse. But I also think that where you're a citizen of would play a big role.
True.
Like I could see the legal system, like if I just go over to Windsor and then shoot someone in America, like just because I don't like that person, I could see them being like, America, this is your problem to solve. Like this is not our problem to solve.
Yeah. They just kind of like roll the body across the border.
Agree with
you guys
that
deal with that
a bit. Yeah, it's like, hey, you guys go deal with this. Spend your tax dollars on the judge that's gonna judge the situation that just occurred.
But this actually is one that probably has a finite answer. So, Pat, can you just Google it?
Yeah,
really
Pat.
All right. What's the? So it says the country. Yeah, the country where you did it is the one where you'll be prosecuted. Okay.
Yeah, the country where you fire the weapon is the country that will charge you with a crime.
Yeah, I mean that tracks. Thanks, Pat.
Right. We appreciate the quick response on that. But
yeah, next question.
Yeah,
another good question. This one is hypothetical, but you have 30 minutes to hide a paperclip from the FBI. If they are not able to find the paperclip, you get $1 million. What steps are you taking to prevent them from finding it? That's the question. You want to lead?
30 minutes. Yeah, I can lead. I think we both go and then we discuss after.
Yeah.
You think that's fine? My 30 minutes, $1 million, hide a paperclip. What are you going to do? I am going to, and I'm assuming, let's just say we're starting right in my apartment.
Yeah, that makes sense. Right here.
Right. And it's the FBI.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like not as intense as like a bounty hunter.
What's that scene from The Other Guys? Female body inspector?
Yeah.
You get it's a play on words.
But, okay. As soon as the 30-minute timer starts, getting in my car, I'm flying to the nearest store that would have paper clips.
Flying? Oh, you have a flying car now?
All right, well, I'm just driving 1 million miles an hour to the nearest store. Do you think the Dollar Tree, that would be the first question that popped in my head. Do you think the Dollar Tree has paper clips?
Yeah.
I would assume so, right? But I could see myself getting in there and like panicking. Being like, they don't have them.
Yeah,
But
going up to
I
that
get
minimum
into
wage employee that's probably on crack, being like, "Where's your paper clips?"
I need it. But essentially, maybe they don't. I think CVS would too.
There's also a Staples, like 6 minutes from me.
Okay, so I go to CVS or Staples, and then buy a bunch of paper clips, like a big bag or a big box or whatever they come in. I'm buying a bunch of paper clips, and then essentially from that point on, I'm on a. Let's say that took me 10 minutes to go do that.
Yeah.
I'm on a 20-minute mission of just sprinting or driving around the city and just throwing all the paper clips out the window of my car.
At that
I'm
point,
just
do you even know what paper
floating.
clips are?
Exactly. But do the cops? Does the FBI?
Should we establish a time frame on this? How long are they going to be pursuing this paper clip?
30 minutes.
No, you have 30 minutes to hide it. How long are they going to be looking for it? That was not delineated. We'll call it a month. I feel like that's fair. They probably
until the end of
after.
time. It's like a dead body.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Till
Well,
the end
then
of
when do you
time.
receive the money? Instantly in the... I don't know. Let's make it a month because that makes sense.
Sure. 1 month. Or what is it? 15 years till the statute of limitations is
7
over.
years
Uh,
for statute of limitations.
Okay.
Statute of limitations.
So 7
7
years.
years.
They're going to
Okay.
look for 7 years.
Yeah.
I'm going to run around. I'm going to hide all these paper clips all around. And ideally, I'm making a big radius search. I'm driving as far as I can. And then I'm doing a big circle, and I'm placing them all in a big circle in like a 30, 40 mile
Are you
radius.
just like tossing them out the window?
around.
Well, dude, 30, 40 mile radius? We only have 30 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't have that much time. So it'd be like
Yeah.
a 20 mile radius.
Not even
But you
that.
know what's
How long
going to
does it take
happen
you to drive
is they're
40
going
minutes?
to put a grid search
20
in.
miles.
They're going to put a grid search, and they're going to have
Canvas the
everyone like
area.
close in
You got dogs.
and try to find it. So like, but the tough part would be if I just had a bunch. And obviously I'm wearing gloves while I'm throwing them out the window too.
Obviously.
What are you doing?
So I have two different theories on this. I would actually just like your opinion on both here. But the first thing that came to my head, just flush it down the toilet. What do you think about that? Because where does the water go? It goes to a water treatment center where they remove the waste from the water,
Right.
and it gets all separated out. So what happens to the waste once it's removed from the water? Does it go to a landfill? Do they just take all the shit and piss to a landfill?
I guess.
So that's what I'm thinking. Like, there's a
Like,
very
the
real...
cops, I would imagine though, like, I don't know though, because like I would imagine I watch a lot of like cops or whatever on my TikTok. Like it comes up like situations, and like
Cops are
I
TikToking them
I
arresting
just
somebody.
watched one where they
Arresting somebody
that
is doing drugs.
well, they just arrested a chick that was like doing coke in a McDonald's bathroom,
That's fair game.
and then she flushed it.
Those places are damn near
So
designated.
she didn't have anything on her, but she like
She had something in her.
she got like reports of her like with a lighter in the bathroom. So like I feel like if it's the FBI, and I think that like if I almost in my brain substitute the way that they're going to look for this paperclip is the way that they're going to look for a dead body if they can't find a dead body. And I would imagine that if you were somehow able to flush a dead body down the toilet, that they would be able to figure that out. So I would imagine that like the cop's first instinct would be like, oh, it's a paperclip. I'm going to go check where he flushed. And I can either catch residue, I can catch whatever, or let me trace it back to where it's going to go.
And
I can
flushes himself down the toilet.
I can find that paperclip.
Tracks it through the
like
tunnels.
maybe it's not a paperclip. Maybe it's a person's eyeball.
Yeah.
And they knew that just one eyeball got flushed and they needed to find it. I bet they could find it.
You think?
Yes. I think they could.
I think you're giving them almost too much credit because isn't there a stat that 60% of crimes go unsolved or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's hard to figure this shit out.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, my secondary idea to this would be we're receiving $1 million if you complete this successfully. My other idea, I'm down to put a capital investment into this because I would get $1 million at the end. So my other idea was driving to an ATM, pulling out somewhere in the range of $2,000.
Yeah.
Next thing I'm doing is finding a random person. I'm giving them the $2,000. And I'm saying, you need to go find somebody else to give this paperclip to. You then give them $500. You instruct that person to find somebody else to give the paperclip to. You give them $200 and tell them to go find somebody else to give it to. So it's a decreasing amount of money because of the level of risk that the person's involved with. Obviously, the first person that's talking to me has a higher likelihood of getting caught, right? So that's why the money would be diminishing going further.
Right.
And just in case they think that they shouldn't listen to me, they should just take the money and run.
Right.
I'll also threaten to kill him.
That's your issue.
I'll threaten
They
to kill
could
him.
just be like, why?
I'll say, if you don't fucking do this, I will find you and I will kill you. I have a very particular set of skills.
I think that
Liam Neeson.
Pat. I think I got it. I think Pat. Can you search this one up?
Give it a go, Pat.
What's the best way to hide a paperclip 30 minutes from the FBI for $1 million? Oh. See?
Huh.
We were right.
Okay.
We were right.
Yeah.
So the best way, this is what Pat's research is telling
Stop scrolling.
us, is that, wait.
Oh, no, don't pull up fucking Sydney Sweeney, dude. Go back. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, perfect.
Okay.
So the best way to do it is a combination.
Yeah.
It's basically a combo of both of our answers.
Yeah.
So it said, go buy as many paper clips as you can, give them to as many civilians as you can, pay the civilians a percentage of the total, and then essentially those civilians are going to help you solve the crimes. Because like you said, it's very difficult for you to drive a full 30-minute radius all the way around. But if you have even 20 different people that are doing it, and then you give each of them 10 paper clips, and you have, or I would just give one of them the paper clip I have, but then their fingerprints are all over it too. And then they're throwing,
downplay it, though.
They're throwing.
You give them the important one, you go, this one doesn't matter. Honestly, do whatever you want.
You just mix it
so they
in.
think it's inconsequential.
You just mix it in with the bag.
Yeah.
But you basically have
Google
humans.
AI had the exact answer on that one.
That is, thank you, Pat.
Good job,
Thanks
Pat.
for searching it up. No, it's crazy you found that one. But last segment of the day, gem of the week, another one. We're just happy to. Well, I kind of love these because it's really just what got you through, what makes you happy this week. What
Are we
was
doing on time?
A bright spark. We're good, man. We're totally fine, bro.
What are we at?
102.
102, perfect.
Yeah.
So I can maybe make this one a little bit longer. My gem of the week, I don't know. Maybe I'm just on a weird portion of the internet / what podcast I listen to, but comment down below if you're familiar with autistic telepathy. And I'm going to explain it to Chris. He's not familiar with it all.
No.
But they've been doing these studies.
When you say they?
I don't know. I didn't look into it that much. People, certain individuals are doing studies.
A university per se?
Probably not. Probably just, I don't know, YouTubers.
An average American doing a study.
Yeah. But the concept with it is it's low functioning autistic or Down syndrome people where they're like nonverbal. We don't think that they can understand language or talk or any of that stuff. But what they've found is that it's really hard to explain, honestly. They found that they can talk, and they figured out a way to communicate with them where it's essentially them typing it out on an iPad. And they're figuring out that these people really did know everything the entire time. And they were very frustrated the entire time because they knew how to communicate, but there just wasn't a method for them to do that. Right? So that's the most basic element of it, to where they're there. You know what I mean? Everything's chilling, but they're, physically they just can't do it.
Yeah, the way that they like extrude or whatever is they just can't. It's like they speak a different language, but basically that's basically what it is.
This is just the tip of the iceberg, though, because it goes much deeper than that. So the first portion of this that I thought was crazy, and here's where it gets into telepathy. A lot of these kids, once they figured out how to communicate from different areas in all over the world, they all reported the same thing, that there's this area that they go to. They call it the hill. It's an almost like astral, plane. It's not a real place, but it's like an astral plane, like almost like heaven, space. What heaven would be kind of.
Yeah.
But so like they all report going to this place with all of the other kids that have similar conditions where they can all talk freely and share information with each other. So there's many examples of these kids that have went to the hill where they know how to fluently speak Chinese, even though they've never obviously been around anybody that does. And they report learning Chinese on the hill. And all of these different stories are corroborating each other of these low functioning autistic or Down syndrome kids that all went to the hill and got this information from other kids on the hill.
Whoa.
This is a real thing. I'm not joking.
So they all report, and when are they reporting this?
Very recently. This is like because I forget exactly what it was, but essentially they came out with a way for these people to communicate effectively.
Whoa!
And they're all reporting going to this.
So they kind of get interviewed about. They're interviewing autistic children, or not necessarily children, just humans,
Mm-hmm.
and they're saying, tell us your experience. Tell us like what you feel like you're going through, and they say there's multiple people that have said that they go to this hill and that they learn.
Many people.
They learn how to speak Chinese, and then they can talk to a Chinese person, but they don't actually ever talk to the Chinese person.
No, they do on the hill. They're all meeting up on this.
But,
again, this
but they can't prove that it's a real person that they met and talked to.
I guess theoretically.
They can't prove
I haven't dug that far into it, so I don't know if they have like proved that or not.
Okay.
But essentially, like multiple people are reporting this and corroborating the same story, that they're going onto the hill and learning information, and then when they finally can communicate, they're releasing all and showing that they're very aware of what's going on, which brings me kind of like to the second part of this, which is the more telepathic part, which is absolutely crazy. They found this study. So I don't know exactly how to say this, but do you know how low functioning people like that, they still are very emotionally aware, they're very empathetic. So they know
a lot of times more empathetic and caring, and like they love you, which is great.
Yeah,
I think that's like a beautiful thing about it. It's like it's almost, to me, is like a more pure human being than like someone that's tainted like us.
Very tainted. But essentially, like they have. I gotta stop saying essentially. I use those filler words too much. Sorry, chat. But they have found those people in their lives that they get a very strong relationship with. For example, a child and their mother. They have the ability to telepathically see what their mother is seeing. And they have done studies to where they will put the child in one room, the mother in a different room, and they will ask the child, what is your mother seeing? And they will perfectly describe it. And they have done this. This worked up to 4 miles away, where the mother is 4 miles away from the child, and they are perfectly describing what their mother is currently saying.
Whoa. I've never heard that type of telepathy.
Yeah. Well, I don't know exactly what it is. It's
because I thought telepathy was
they call it like
you're able to communicate.
I think they call it
like
remote viewing.
Doll type shit.
Yeah, I think that more so like aligns with like it's called remote viewing, where you're seeing something through somebody else's perspective, or you're seeing something when you're not actually there. But they have found 100. It's like, imagine you're looking at one of those eye tests with all the letters.
Yeah.
I think that was the test that they did. They asked the child, what is your mother seeing? And they nailed it, letter for letter.
Whoa.
It's absolutely insane. So they're finding that, I feel like that's always been kind of a theory, but now they're finding that it might actually be factual. That these people with, certain mental conditions, while we think that they're impaired, they're actually almost operating on a higher level that we just can't perceive, or that doesn't bode well with the human body.
Right.
Or
it like does no benefit to society to say,
well, shit,
hey, these people are, like literally better human, like just like more enhanced.
Yeah,
that's
so
crazy.
I got to look into it a little bit more. That was kind of the surface level of what I got from what I've heard from it.
That's really good, gem of the week. I don't have much to say on it. I think it's awesome. I think it's cool, to be honest. I think it's a sweet thing.
Oh, it's awesome, and I fully believe it.
Yeah, and it would almost make sense that like if you had too much, this is gonna be a weird way to put it, but if you had too much information to say, that you would like
it would overload.
Brain clogged, overload. Yeah, like compute file size too big, can't comprehend. So I'm just gonna blurt out the information like this.
Yeah.
When in reality, you just know too much and you just can't get it out because it's way too much.
That's why it kind of sucks though. I'm on the precipice. I'm just a high functioning autistic person. If I was just a little bit there, I'd know Chinese and the secrets of the universe. But
valid. My gem of the week's a simple one, an easy one. I just thought it'd be kind of funny to bring up. There's no way she's watching. She just had a child. Her name's Paige. You met her, bro. I used to work with her.
Yeah.
And you were like laughing at me because like she just had a kid. And whenever I'm talking to somebody that just had a kid, I ask way too many questions, like an absurd amount of questions.
The quantity of the questions wasn't the issue. It was the phrasing of the question.
Well, you missed like the 30 minutes we were on my couch, and I was just like, so what was it like when you had to get driven there? Like, did you think you were going to like get pregnant at any time and like have a kid in the car?
Get pregnant
I'm just like so
at any
concerned.
time?
I'm like so concerned about like what happened, but I also
were you going to say the original question that you asked?
I want to.
That cracked me up.
Yeah, what was you probably I don't even remember exactly.
You asked her if he's still drinking boob juice, which is an insane thing to call breast milk.
It's almost like it's
that.
funnier though.
No, it's hilarious. It shows how fucking
I was like,
mature we are.
I was like, is he drinking boob juice or just like that, like other milk?
Boob juice sounds lit.
But no, it's a close friend of mine I used to work with. And she's a great human being. I love her. Paige. That was like probably your first time meeting her and hanging out with her. Though,
yeah.
Right? So like probably 3 weeks after that happened, in the time that we were gone, obviously in the last week or so, Gem of the Week is called that for a reason, but she sent me a TikTok, and like I don't think we've ever DM'd each other ever, but she sent me a TikTok, and it was like, I bet you can't name one person that you couldn't say anything negative about.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing that they say, there's nothing that they do that like you could say this is like a negative thing about that person.
Yeah.
And I received that, and like normally I get TikToks from people and I'm like, I don't even feel like watching. But I watched that shit and like I was like, that is probably the nicest compliment I've ever received.
Yeah.
And
which is very weird because it's a weird perception to have of you.
Yeah, I immediately was like, I think this is perfect to bring up on Gem of the Week because
the best person in her life.
Hey, which is like
I'm not saying you're bad guy.
To a person like Paige, I know we know each other well, and like there's no chance you're watching this, but if you are, I love you. And I appreciate you saying that.
Why are you always saying that to these?
Dude, love is a word to be used more frequently. Like,
but then it loses its luster.
If any one of my friends, unfortunately, like passed away tomorrow, I would want them to know that I love them.
Yeah, that's fair.
And nobody says it enough. So, Paige, I love you. But that was like the greatest compliment I could have received. It was just like,
basically
I was
saying
like at the gym, and it was sort of like, well, I think everybody has their flaws. Everybody has the things that like they do wrong or that,
like how I repeatedly just drink 40 cores every night.
Right. How me and Joe have to drink a case of beer to
put on for you
just
guys.
Have a normal ass day.
Yeah.
But no, like it was something where I saw it at the gym. I was out of the sauna and I was like, hey, this literally like made my week. I was like, that's like such a nice compliment that you could give somebody is like, I can't think of something wrong. Like in when you're asked the question isn't like, is there anything wrong about this person? It's just like, if you had to name a person that there was nothing wrong about, whatever.
Yeah.
I think I have a lot of flaws. I brought this up because I think I thought Joe was immediately going to be like, well,
yeah, 100%.
Wait,
I'm not saying you're a piece of shit. Like, fuck, you probably should be in prison. I was saying the funniest thing that could have happened in this situation is if somebody sent that TikTok and then immediately responds and goes, whoops, wrong person. Just crushes you.
Dude, but
all right, bro.
I don't know, man.
I got to piss. You want to wrap up?
I think that's it for today. I hope you guys like my shirt, Joe's shirt, bro. You kind of popped out today, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Joe didn't comment.
Cowboy Country
Joe didn't comment on this bitch at all.
Elvis.
Look at
Elvis shirt.
Oh,
look at how stuck.
My grandma's favorite artist of all time. I told Joe this, but favorite artist. She lied to me when I was a kid. She said Elvis. I used to date him, and she was like all heartbroken when he like passed away and everything, and I think it was like a big ordeal. But she loves him, and I bought the shirt like with her in mind.
I think when Michael Jackson died, I was very distraught because I used to date him when I was 6.
Exactly.
It's a little Michael Jackson pedophile joke.
I believed my grandma until I was like 18 or 18. But anyways, I bought it for her. I love the shirt. But no, it's a pleasure. It's another Saturday.
Another Saturday in the books.
Happy to be here. Hey, subscribe, like, go to other platforms.
All the platforms.
Hop on the Lakers. We're going to get a camera.
Mm-hmm.
We need the manifestation of everybody. We didn't really hear anybody riding the MSU bet. We want people riding the Lakers.
No was on it.
Too bad for no. But hey, good shit, bro.
Good shit. Love you guys.
Peace.